All right, I just spent a few hours doing a wire wheel and sand and kind of wiping it all down just to get the big flaking rust off. So it's not perfect, but this truck isn't perfect. It's got 200,000 miles again, so it doesn't need to be perfect. It's gonna be a lot better than how it was. So here's just a little before action. Okay, so it's the next day. It's about 24-hour cure time, and this is what the first coat of that Coro seal looks like. You can see it actually did turn pretty black, which is a good sign. And it's kind of like a clear coat in a weird way, but it is primer, and feels nice, looks nice. Now I'm gonna do the second coat before I paint everything. So that's that. Okay, so this is day 2 after the second coat. Now I'm not sure if you're supposed to put the second coat on after it fully dries or after it still stays wet. I think I've heard it both ways, so I'm not sure, but this truck, it doesn't need to be perfect again, so I just waited a day and did another one, but now I'm gonna pull the truck out and start painting. And here's the spare tire. This used to be covered in rust. I can show a before picture. It's already looking so much better. So, like I said before, what I think happened is the last owner had a fifth wheel in here, and it somehow came unhitched, and it sank back onto the bed, and the hitch ripped out the tailgate because it didn't have a tailgate, and so these striker bolts were bent because the tailgate was made into like a V. So this side you can still see is how it was. It's totally bent outward. And so what I did is I got this threaded rod. It's like a 3-footer. You thread it through, bolt it, and then all you have to do is bend it straight. And so I'll do that on this side. And then I have my new tailgate hardware. I'm hoping that nothing's gonna be in the way, and I should be able to get that tailgate right in. So, yep, and here's just another look at that paint. Second coat is drying, and it looks really good. Okay, so here's the second coat of paint. I went with the flat black. I used to like gloss because it seems to repel water better, but flat black just looks more factory, and kind of like that look. So, yep, not perfect, but it'll do the job. I also did inside of these fenders because they were starting to get pretty chipped and rusty as well. So, yeah, not too bad. So, here's the old bumper and hitch, all twisted up right there. And here's the new one. So it comes with all new hardware, everything, new wiring harness for the license plate lights, but it doesn't come with one of these rings. It's a lock ring for the spare tire tube. And that is the biggest pain in the butt of this whole install. So you can see this old one, it's all rusty, and it's got all those like prongs. It's designed to lock it in so nobody can steal it, but it's also just a huge pain in the butt to replace. And it didn't come with it, and there was no way I was getting this one off of here to that new one. So I had to buy another one. It was only like 10 bucks, but kind of a bummer. And so there's two pieces. There's the ring with the forks and then the outer ring. And that outer ring you squeeze, and it has these teeth that come out the other side. Let me show you. And it grabs onto the outside of the bumper. And that's what gives it that back pressure. And so once you squeeze that, and then you open, and then you'll release it, it'll grab, those teeth will grab underneath. Then this outer ring, or this inner ring, sorry, with the spikes on it, you're just gonna pop that in. and kind of take a screwdriver and hammer it in real carefully, because you can see there's these 4 little things that will hold it down. After that, you should be able to just push this through until it locks right around there. I was able to reuse this because it didn't come with this either, so you have to get this thing out. So do that, but other than that, I got the brackets on here, got the new wiring harness in, and these little pins. Don't know why they didn't just come that way, but so you just leave everything loose and then bolt it up to the truck and then tighten everything down. Rear bumper is on and all tightened down. You can see it's just a cheap eBay bumper. Like the chrome isn't even like a mirror. It's kind of like brushed looking, and the fitment isn't great, but you know what? It's good for the price that it was. And man, yeah, this tire thing is crooked, I just noticed. I'm gonna see if I can straighten that. So got this straightened out here. This has the original key block cylinder in it. And yeah, so let me show you underneath here. Okay. So underneath, we got a brand new spare tire jack hoist. And then here's where that tube for the jack goes into. And there's this ring. There's that ring in the back here that's kind of a pain in the butt. So you're gonna wanna make sure you line this tube up into this before you push it in, because once you push it in, it's not really going anywhere. So yeah, got the new wiring harness in here. All I have to do is put some dielectric grease in there and put it back up into this panel right here, which everything is tucked up nicely into. So yeah, it looks nice down here. Now we just need to get the license plate on and get the spare tire lifted up into here. This door handle is broken, and it's super annoying because you can only open the door from pulling from that side. And so I'm gonna replace it. Out with the old, in with the new. You can see nice and tight, works great. I just had to take this panel off and kind of get back and unbolt and clip it over there. It's pretty straightforward. Didn't want to bore you and show the whole process. But while I had everything taken apart, I cleaned everything and I greased where all of those pins slide to lock and unlock it. You can see it works great. And the key works. I switched out the lock cylinder, so that's locked and that's unlocked. So much better. Just like a cheap $20 fix, but it makes your life so much easier. On to the next. All right, next I'm gonna put these LED Zevos in for the driving lights, because one of them's burnt out and the other is just, they're both incandescent, so they look yellow and ugly. So we're gonna put these in here. I'll put a link to these in the description. I got the truck all jacked up and taken apart. You can see it's just a disaster. I've removed the transmission lines, all 3 of them already. And I'm just gonna replace them all while I'm doing it. It's a very messy job, but you just gotta take your time and it'll work. Here's what the old ones look like. This is the only new one I have right now. I've got 2 more, the rest on their way. So just gotta size it up, make sure it looks good. And yeah, there's definitely a blockage. So this is the one that goes from the transmission to the radiator cooler. So looks good. All right, I got the new transmission cooler lines laid out here. What you wanna do is make sure to put some tape on the ends, so when you're jamming them through, you're not gonna jam up a bunch of gunk and clog it right back up again. So just put a little tape on there. Another thing you want to do is make sure that these black caps are up near the fitting end so they don't get stuck somewhere in the middle. So I'm going to start with the longest, hardest one first. All right, so you can tell it's winter out here. There's tons of snow everywhere. This project has been taking me a while, as you can see, but I wanted to show the tailgate a little bit more. Realized I kind of skipped over that. So here it is. I've got brand new hardware, brand new cap. Everything's new with the tailgate. And so, open it up for you. You can see, it looks real nice. Nice and shiny. Got a new cable here. And so the only issue I had installing it was on this side. Since it was kind of crunched up here, it was hitting right there. So let me close it. So that was kind of catching and scratching itself there. And so I had to kind of fight with it, and that hinge right here, this brass one that touches the truck, or that's attached to the truck, that I had to cut. I had to shave like 1/8 of an inch off because the tailgate wouldn't fit in here, actually. The tailgate was too wide. Yeah, the tailgate was too wide because I had set it in here and it'd be hitting like this hinge right back here. And so I had to cut some of it off so that this part would slide into it. And so it works now. And you can see I painted on the tailgate brackets here because those are new and they came with the tailgate. But yeah, and you can see here's the striker bolts that I did. I added a washer to the side just to give it a little more stability. Greased it up real good. Here's the other side. And so yeah, so it's working out really well now, actually, and it's pretty easy. Some other videos on YouTube that'll tell you how to hook it all up in there and everything, but you just got to give it a good smack and then it'll close. And didn't buy badges for it yet. Saved some money there. Pretty clean look anyways without it. And also want to show you this new Kurt hitch that I got. It's the Kurt XD. I think it's part number 15302. You can see here's the hitch specs. It's class 5, which is stronger than the factory hitch. Of course, this thing is rated for more than the truck could probably tow, so be aware of that. And you can see I still have my wiring hanging down here. It came with a bracket and a mount, so I just need to drill some holes up underneath the bumper here into the metal part on that side, and then this will pop into its own little spot there. And it's nice because this one has the 4-pin as well as the 7-pin, just like on the new trucks. So the factory 07 didn't have that. That's looking good. Let me show you. I put the spare tire in, and I realized I installed it upside down, and so I'm hoping that I don't break that hoist, because you're not supposed to bring it up too far. But it is in there and looking good. So I just want to kind of show the final result here. So everything that I used, I should have and linked in the description below in case you want to use my affiliate Amazon link. I may earn a commission off those purchases, so that supports the channel and I really appreciate it. Thank you.